I am pissed, and I'm pissed at you. Get Trump out of office. Do you think we're idiots? Do you think we don't pay taxes? Do you think that we don't have to make budgets? My name is Fred Higginbotham.
Hi, Fred.
I've lived in Polk County since '98. I was a firefighter in California. I saw what can happen when a state works together with its people. This state does not know how to do that. I inherited a century farm from my father because he was born, raised here. My great-great-grandfather helped open this university. I am pissed, and I'm pissed at you because I have emailed you because it's easier for me than to try to talk on the phone without profanity. I would appreciate you taking your father's U.S. Constitution book, read it, study it, make your own lines underneath it, and get Trump out of office. The man is a dictator. He knows nothing about what he talks about. I listened to him for about a half hour today, and I got sick at all the lies he brought up. Now, I'm about ready to lose my farm. Do you know why? I'm sure you don't know why.
Lose your what, sir?
Farm.
Farm?
Yeah.
Why is that, sir?
Because Missouri does not have wills. They have trust. They have legal zigzags. And a trust, most people don't know anything about. So I'm dealing with a state that's a crooked state, doesn't care about what farmers happen. The only reason why we have farmers today is because the federal government funds them. How much money of our tax money goes to farmers? Farmers work very hard, but they're funded by the federal government, not by selling groceries. That's what Foster Farms and all of those characters, that's where they get their money. The price of steaks, $20 a pound, because of big business. You want to straighten out the budget? Start taxing corporations and the wealthy, like we've been telling you. Do you think we're idiots? Do you think we don't pay taxes? Do you think that we don't have to make budgets? You talk about half-truths when I listen to you. You know nothing about taking care of children because you've always had a really good-paying job. You know nothing about what a working-class citizen does. Come down here. Come down here and start trying to pay your medical insurance. Come down here and walk into Costco to try to feed your family, to feed your kid that's moved out, to feed your great-grandchildren. I had a very good job in California, and I'm able to feed my family, and it goes all the way to great-grandchildren. You're not helping me. Believe me, you're not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation of us.
Thank you. Did you say your name's Fred?
Yeah.
Fred, thank you so much, and I appreciate your passion, your love for our country.
I served 4 years for it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your service. I do. You know, I
also know what the Constitution is.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. No, I do appreciate your service. Owning a small business is tough. Thank you for that, and thank you for being a good father and grandfather. A great-grandfather, good. I just had my first grandchild. As far as I'm trying to take notes here on some of the things that you brought to light, and I want to respond to those. Our office, you feel like they're non-responsive, you're not getting answers that you need when you email, is that correct?
Not at all.
You're not getting any responses?
No.
Becky will get with you after this meeting, your full name, because every time someone emails or calls our office, it goes into a computer system called Fireside, and we keep track of the conversations, what we have told you, the responses. Jake just gave you a card there. And we'll be glad to work with you. I really want to have an open line of communications. You know, sometimes I'm even in my office and my staff doesn't really like this, but I answer the phone when I'm in the district and when I'm in D.C. If I have free time, I'm not in a committee meeting or on the House floor, I like to answer the phone because I like to hear from people like you, because an email does not capture the passion with which you presented your argumentation today, and I appreciate that. You're right, our farmers have not had a great deal. I do believe that the so-called subsidies or the safety nets that farmers receive are imperative to their survival. In order for a farmer to make a living these days, to plant a crop, they have to borrow the money to do that. And in order to borrow the money, and because of the high input costs for fuel and labor and other issues, fertilizer, they're having to borrow the money, and to get the money to buy the seed, the feed, the fuel, they have to have crop insurance. And the crop insurance is so expensive that the government steps in and helps them out with that. I think that is a worthy investment to make sure that we can eat as Americans and that we can help feed the world. And I will stand by that. And that's why we had these programs expanded in the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, H.R. 1, and I will stand by that. You were talking about state issues. We have two state legislators here. Maybe they'd be willing to talk with you after that, after tonight. I'm not an expert on taxes, but especially that sounded like a state issue from what you were speaking of. So Brad or Chris would be willing, I think, to talk with you tonight. Did that answer your questions? Okay. Look, let's have a show of hands here tonight. This ought to be fun. How many of you voted for Joe Biden? Okay. How many of you voted for Donald J. Trump? Okay. Probably a little more Biden than Trump, and that's fine. I voted for Trump. I'm not the best of friends with Trump. I've met him maybe 5 or 6 times. He's a totally different person in person than you would see on television. He's almost 80 years old. If you think I'm going to change Donald J. Trump, I have got. Say that again.
Quit letting him get by with unconstitutional items such as arming national law.
All right, Fred, we're going to give the mic to somebody. Where's the mic? But I do want to answer this because Fred brings up an important point that I knew we would get to tonight, and that is the National Guard. You've seen on the news what's been happening. This started in California when Immigration Custom Enforcement was sent into California. ICE, yes, sir, ICE, that's what it stands for. Immigration Custom Enforcement was sent into California to arrest and deport, eventually, through Homeland Security, criminal illegal aliens. And so they were, that's what they did. And others who are here illegal, other illegal aliens. Primarily it started out with criminal illegal aliens. But look, Joe Biden has let 12 million illegal aliens into our sovereign nation. I think putting a lot of strain on our services for Medicaid and for Medicare. And so we've got to make sure and healthcare and other services. We've got to make sure that if you're here illegally, and Homeland Security has given these individuals a chance to go back and do it the right way. Go wait in line. You know, we passed 2 years ago H.R. 1, the Secure Border Act. I don't know if you heard about it, but it funded finishing the wall. It reinstated Remain in Mexico, where if you're applying for amnesty, and there are legitimate amnesty concerns, believe me, I get that, but only about 15% of them are legitimate, and you should stay in your home country or Mexico until those are adjudicated. It would have ended the catch and release, where if an illegal alien was captured, they released them there pretty much on their own recognizance. And so H.R. 1, the Secure Border Act, would have done that. But guess what, folks? We passed it. It got over to the Senate, and Chuck Schumer sat on it. He didn't do anything with it. And then lo and behold, around this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier, they came up with a new so-called bipartisan plan, which the media spun as Trump telling us not to vote for it. That was not true. I never heard anything from Trump. Our leadership, I told them. And so the flaw in that was, Fred and others, is that it would have allowed 5,000 illegal aliens a day still into our country. It was not a good plan. You see, I think folks in the 4th Congressional District in Missouri and America in general, they want a secure border. They want a secure America. They want secure streets. They want a secure economy. We don't have all those yet, but we do have, for the most part, a secure border. We can't start working, and we could not start working on immigration reform until we fix the hole in the boat. And that's what Donald Trump did. He fixed the hole in the boat. And so now we can start looking at some of these programs. We can start looking at some of these programs to change some of our immigration policies. We were just at a farm today down in Cass County. They grow a lot of mums that you would buy at Costco or Ace Hardware. I think there was 100,000 of these mums they're going to start shipping out for fall. And they use a lot of workers from Mexico who come up under the H-1A visa program for agriculture, and they are able to use them, but they come here legally. They sponsor them. They pay for him. They provide them housing and good wages. And it's H-2A visa program. And so these are the kind of the programs that we need to expand, and where there are lack of workers in certain areas, we can fill them with people who want to come here and do it the right way. But I'm here to tell you right now, we should not be supporting illegal immigration in our country. No other country allows illegal immigration. They fight it much harder than we do. And I think it's a blessing to have Donald Trump put this on as one of his main planks in the platform to fight illegal immigration.